The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Eastlink Community TV, its sponsors, or partners.
Welcome to Breton Connects on Eastlink Community TV. I'm your host, Cecil Clark, and I'm thrilled today at this episode to have with me as our special guest, Ankit Wadhwa, who is a Cape Breton influencer. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, Ankit, but let's talk about your journey to the Cape Breton Regional Municipality, starting with Cape Breton University. If you can just give us a sense of coming here, how you felt here, your experience at university, and we're going to get on to all the exciting things you've been doing and continue to do in the community.
Thank you, Cecil, for having me. So yes, I came here in 2022, January. That's when I started my journey with Cape Breton University. A friend of mine recommended come to Nova Scotia. I was looking for universities around Canada, and a friend of mine said, look into Nova Scotia, and came across CBU, started my studies there. And I started as a post-PAC student, but soon transitioned into the MBA program in Community Economic Development. And now it's been over 3 years, 3.5 years to be exact, where I've been here and been trying to engaging as much as possible with the community here.
Not trying, you've been fully engaged with this community, Ankit, and it's been phenomenal to watch how much reach you've had with you and your colleagues. And so from Cape Breton University, having that education here, talk us about the Cape Breton influencers, because I think that's a really neat thing you've brought together, and I've been able to be part of that as well.
Yes, so when we came here as students, and I would say I'm a little on the mature student side because I got back to studies after 10 years of working in working as professional. So I found there's a little gap for newcomers to be able to interact with companies and organizations and individuals outside the university. And most of the people in our group who were doing MBA programs, who were doing post-PAC programs, were also mature students who were just getting back in the studies, but at the same time they wanted to engage in networking activities, in connecting with people and be able to share and learn about the culture. So that's when me and my friend thought we should have some networking events. We started with some networking events, invited some speakers, gave them some tips on how to build resume, how to connect with people here, go and volunteer in the event, in the activities and events that are happening in the community. And slowly that grew because people were showing interest, and we would go to different places, ask them if we can do a free hosting event here and bring in different speakers. And it picked up, and people started liking it, people started coming to those events. This is the gap we thought we can build, just a bridge to bring students out from the university into the community setting, because that's where they would like to settle eventually.
Well, and it truly is about being citizens of the community, not just attending as a student,
Yes.
but also the broader community, because now we have families here, and we have all kinds of multicultural events within our Eastern Indian community, but also the fact that you've just reached out and across every ethnic group. It doesn't matter. It's all about being part of the community and a vibrancy and a new energy that's coming into the CBRM. And thanks to your leadership, but also the team you've brought together, it's so encouraging for me as mayor of the municipality to see this vibrancy, this new energy coming to our community, and to go to events like Diwali and to have that celebration. Talk about that a bit, because I know we'll have a little cutout maybe to that to show folks.
When we were doing some networking events, we thought we should do some community events as well, where we can showcase our culture, showcase our roots in Cape Breton, because Cape Breton is a melting pot of a lot of cultures. So that's when we started with Independence Day, Diwali Gala, and Holi, which is Festival of Colors event. And we thought, what better place than Wentworth Park? It's the center of the city, and makes it more welcoming, because people can feel like it's more welcoming event rather than a closed venue event. So we started with Independence Day here with a nice cultural display of Indian dances and food and different activities. We had 1,500 people, a lot of support from CBRM that was provided to us. Then we transitioned into some fundraising events for different parts where we can use funds to engage students in the community. So we started with CBU scholarship funds for Indian students. If they are volunteering in the community, they can do that. And we thought, what's a good venue for Diwali Gala? Because we wanted to bring an event that is very familiar to the community, which is a gala, and then add an Indian Diwali touch to it. So we chose Sacred Heart for that, and we did it for 2 years. We had a really good attendance. We hope to do it again this year, and just build on those small 3-4 events that we can showcase our culture and bring the community in the culture as well.
It's just, again, just so exciting to see what is happening within our broader community, but just all these aspects, like I say, bringing life to this park in a way it hadn't been, to come and to see, like you say, almost 2,000 people, and the numbers grow every year. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice now when you have a waiting list to get into events after introducing them, and not only that, it helps with the economy. Let's when you think about it, we have to be realistic about the economic impact of the diversification of our community, and bringing newcomers into our community, celebrating their presence here, but driving the economy. And I think you know a little bit about that because you're an entrepreneur, not just taking business at Cape Breton University. Can you explain how you got into business in the CBRM?
So while I was doing these events, I got to meet a lot of people, and networking helps, as it helps you connect with a lot of people. So we came across a opportunity that there was I would say, an iconic place on sale, which is Mac's Convenience Store. And I reached out to my friends. I said, we have something which is in the community, which everyone loves, and it's very close to the main spot, Wentworth Park. So my friends and me, we thought, okay, let's get into that. It's a small convenience store. We can learn how to run into business. Although we have no experience doing a business ourselves, but we thought it's a good opportunity to learn and also engage in the community beyond as a student, beyond as an professional working. We thought community engagement would be much higher. So we thought to get into that, and we have been doing it for over a year now. So it's been good so far.
Yeah, you're enjoying the interaction. People get to come in, like you say, it's an iconic location here, connected to Wentworth Park, but also, speaking of the connections, you also help connect people. Like that's the not just beyond the influencers, you do a lot of mentoring for people coming in as newcomers.
Yes.
And the other piece that's here is people are not just coming in and going to university, they're coming here very skilled, highly educated. So part of what you do is help people understand how to get settled in the community, how to feel welcome in the community, and more importantly, how we break down any barriers that are there. Can you talk about some of the mentoring you do as well in your role?
Yes. So I think my mentoring is more like, as you mentioned, connecting with people, the organizations that helped me during my time, such as Cape Breton Connector program, CBRM Welcome Group, CBICI from New Dawn, and the Sports and Social Club. These 4 organizations have been very pivotal for my connections. So I always encourage people to go into any events or any connections that are happening through them. So I bring them there to these events. I try to encourage them, push them to go to these kind of events, which are hosted by the organizations. And just if someone is coming with, they're looking for something, I can connect them with someone who can probably find a solution. Maybe I'm not the right person sometimes to find the right answers, to find the right connect. But if I know someone, I always try to connect them. I always try to encourage people, start with volunteering, start with going to these events hosted by organizations. Because you meet so many people that you never know who's going to be your help in the journey. And some people have done it, and some people have really benefited from this.
So, I mean, when you look at everything that you've been able to accomplish in just a few short years here, and the fact that we see growth in the community, and that when I talk about the diversification, for anyone that's actually not from the community of CBRM and that is looking at this episode, what would you say to anyone that's looking at the CBRM as a possible place to come to either go to university, community college, or to live?
Yeah, I mean, Cape Breton is more of many rural areas in India, similar to that, and many students who come here come from similar background areas. So it makes very easy for them to transition, to have a family here, to buy their first home, to start a business, or even to have a job and be able to connect with the community through so many events that happen here. So I always mention to everyone, yeah, the first 2-3 years would be tough, the first 2-3 years would be hard, but once beyond the 3 years, you will feel like you're part of the community. You feel like you are at home because everyone and everything is so laid back here that you're not in a rush. People talk to each other. People say, um, hello, hope, how you're doing,
Yeah.
and those kind of things. And we travel to different parts of Canada, me and my wife. And after living here for 6 months, when we were visiting, we said to a random person, Hope, how are you doing? And there was no response. Versus in Cape Breton is very different. So that's the one example I tell everyone. If you want to make a nice community around you and you want to build a great culture for your family, Cape Breton would be a good place for that.
Well, and you're definitely making Cape Breton Connects, a connection with that wider world and linking us with other opportunities and a vibrancy and basically confidence. There's a new era of optimism in our community, and you've been very much an influencer in that, and I want to thank you so much, and thank you for being on Eastlink Community TV with Cape Breton Connects.
Thank you so much, Cecil, for having me. Thank you.
I'm thrilled today to be joined by the executive director of the Savoy Theatre, Pam Leader. Pam, welcome to the show from this iconic signature venue that we love here in Cape Breton.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you have so much knowledge and history of this iconic theater that will soon be celebrating in a couple of years, 100 years old. I can't wait to go through a little bit of that, but can you tell me, like you've seen and hosted so many people, community events, international events, and has been the venue of just so much culture and music and personality.
Yes.
And so just for the benefit of the viewers, can you explain to me a little bit the life of the Savoy Theatre as its executive director?
Well, the Savoy Theatre has seen it all. Anything that can happen has probably happened here. And it's seen every side of arts and culture. You're right, with community concerts, and then you have tribute bands, musicals that people are loving at the time right now. And it just makes people, they come in, their emotions are raw by the time they leave. They're either happy or the tears are going down their face. And I've noticed lately that people come in and we're getting people that have never been in here before. And they walk in and the first thing they do is go, you know.
They're not expecting it,
They're
are they?
not
No,
expecting
they're
it
not.
because from the outside, you have no idea what jewel is on the inside.
And when you can evoke emotion, isn't that the outcome
I
of
love
what it's
seeing
all
people
about?
cry when they're leaving, because they're they're crying, but they're almost tears of joy. And if something does give you those emotions, it means it worked. It means that it was a good show, and people enjoyed it.
And you have someone like Johnny Reed that almost claims this when he comes to Cape Breton. He wants to be at the Savoy, that he treats this as home turf for him, that it has that not only for those that attend to have emotional connection, for the performers. There's people that want to come back once they're on that stage. There's something special about being at the Savoy, isn't there?
You are so right. And once people perform here once, they are in awe of the building itself. And it's not just the walls, the stage, it's the feeling in the building. It's the I want to say the warmth in the building, but being on that stage, now I'm not a performer, but I don't know a performer who doesn't want to be on that stage. And Johnny, of course, is one of them, and loves it here. And, you know, even if you have to think about, this theater hosted Leonard Cohen just before he passed away. That is phenomenal. Like, you know, there are theaters in New York that have never done that.
I know that you're looking forward to Come From Away is going to be performing here in the theater. Everyone's waiting with anticipation for that. It's one of those large productions that we don't often get to come to town. And we spoke about Johnny Reed, about Maggie being here, and to see this place, 761 seats, filled to capacity, it must be rewarding to see that to you and the countless volunteers you have.
We have wonderful volunteers that have been here for years. We have volunteers that do the gardens outside, that buy the flowers and plant them. And yes, I am so excited about Come From Away. When I first started here, well, in 2012, I first got the rights for Les Mis. And that was, I remember I was emotional thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to do Les Mis here on the Savoy stage. I feel exactly the same way right now with Come From Away. And we have 8 shows almost sold out. We have half of the cast coming from across Canada and New York to be in the show, and half of the cast are local, which these local artists can stand up against anyone from anywhere with their talent. And it makes me very, very proud. And when I stand in the back during a sold-out show, that's when I get emotional.
Well, and that's a great emotion because it means a pride of place and what you do is important, and that it's about making sure that arts and entertainment and the cultural sector has a main stage and something so iconic as the Savoy Theatre.
Right.
But also, this is the community's theatre. I think of Remembrance Day. This is where the community comes together to honor the fallen and to thank those in service for the country. So citizens come, and this is their theatre, right? It's not some company theatre. The people own this building.
That's right.
And that's probably one of the best compliments you can have, that it's not restricted to one group or one segment. It really is, you know, it could be a movie night as it has been in the past.
Could be movie nights, could be dance recitals. Local dance companies do their end of the year recitals. Children's groups like Glace Bay Glee, they have their weekly classes here, and then they do their recital here. So it's so diversified in the things that happen here.
So you have the backstage activity, but I know a lot of people see, again, the ushers that volunteer, right? People come not looking for payment. They just come time and time again just to be part of celebrating what it is the Savoy is about.
Exactly. And I've been here 16 years, and half of the same volunteers have been here that long, and they still love coming, you know, and if we have 8 Come From Away performances, most of them will be at all 8 of them, because it's a feeling of community, I guess, and pride.
And the other thing you talked about as well is the number of, the amount of local talent, but the number, an emerging number of locally produced shows with local talent that are taking to the main stage that are also filling the seats. So we actually have built a local audience for local performers.
We absolutely have. And when we audition now for the main stage musicals, I remember back, you know, let's just say 8 years ago, we might get 50 people come out and audition, local people. And this time around for this year, we had over 200. And these are multi-talented people, some of whom have never auditioned before. And then you're at the point where, oh my gosh, who do I cast for this? There is so much talent here. I know Cape Bretoners know how much talent is in Cape Breton, but we could cast a show every night with a different cast. There is so much talent.
So we have the front of house beauty of the theater itself and the aesthetic coming in, but the back of house takes a lot of experience. So you've been here 16 years, but before that, what brought you to that role in terms of what were you doing that would have made it? I know you said you don't perform, but obviously you manage.
I do manage, many say too much. But I owned a dinner theater in Halifax for 22 years, and then I sold that business to my business partner at the time, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I didn't know. I was a dental assistant before I owned a dinner theater.
So you're used to putting smiles on people's faces.
That's right.
Okay,
So
that's
I'm
why you're
still
in this
doing
business.
that.
Okay.
So, and then at the time, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do, I got a call from Stephen McDonald, Beak McDonald, who was an term manager here, and he said, I think you should apply for this job. I wasn't sure I wanted to come back to Cape Breton. I was not sure. It was the best decision ever. I will say that right now. Again, I wasn't sure I would get the job, but I did get it and was very happy that I made the decision to come back because I'm where I'm supposed to be.
So you mentioned to me before the show began that we were talking about the 100th anniversary in 2027.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you see looking forward to that? Like, is there some special planning towards that? Any hints or?
I
know you
have
can't
no
divulge.
hints.
Okay, just hard work and effort.
There's a lot going to be happening that year. We have a great board of directors right now that are totally focused on the 100th. Hopefully we'll have a few repairs done in the 100th year or before that. Just things that need to be updated a bit. And there'll be some big shows that year. But I can't give you any hints. It doesn't matter if you're the mayor.
That's okay. That's okay. The spirit of the Savoy, and speaking of that, apparently there's spirits in the Savoy in terms of the ghosts.
You know what? You either believe or you don't believe. I will tell you that I believe that there are spirits in here. They're not spirits I'm afraid of. The first day I started here, I came in at 6 in the morning all by myself. And I could hear noises, and I always hear up by my office a door opening and closing. So if there's spirits here, they're great spirits. And they're happy when people are here.
Pam, the doors are always open at the Savoy for everyone to come and be part of the cast, whether it's sitting here or on the stage. We're so thankful you've been able to give us some time and give us some insight into what makes this beautiful theater function and operate. And I thank you for that. I want to thank our viewers for joining us on Breton Connects on Eastlink Community TV from the beautiful, iconic Savoy Theatre in Glace Bay.